How is it going? I hope that everyone is doing well. All right, so this is going to be a general reading for September for both Taurus and Gemini. And so I will be putting the timestamps in after the live is done for some people who just want Taurus or who just want Gemini. All right, everyone is welcome wherever you have Taurus or Gemini in your chart. You could be a sun sign Taurus, a rising Taurus, have your moon in Taurus, your Venus in Taurus, etc. Okay, so there's going to be a message in here for you, and everybody is welcome. All right, but if you feel like the message doesn't fit, never force it. Always check out your other placements like your sun, moon, and rising. All right, and there's a lot of free, great websites that can help you do a birth chart even if you don't know your exact birth time. So the one I like to use or refer to people is astrologycafe.com. All right, so let's go ahead and get into your reading here, Taurus. I've pulled all of your cards, and we're going to do a quick sound bell and then go ahead and get started here for you. All right, so this is a great time. Just take a couple of deep breaths if you feel guided to just tap back into your body. And it's also a good time for me to check in with my guides and just make sure that I am delivering the messages for you guys as clearly as possible. All right, so this is going to be for Taurus. All right, Taurus, let's see what we have coming up for you here in September. This reading may resonate for the month of September 2023, but it also may resonate for some people in the past or the future, since this is a general reading meant for multiple people. And since time is fluid and relative, that's why it may resonate a little bit different for everybody. All right, so Taurus, let's talk about your cards here. We're going to say that the first card, and these are just kind of general guidelines as far as the time, but we're going to say the first card can be from around September 1st through the 8th. Second card can be from around September 9th through the 16th. The third card can be from around September 17th through the 23rd. And the fourth card can be from around September 24th through September 30th or so, or maybe even into October a little bit. All right, so let's just kind of move everything over here and see what we have here for you, Taurus. Let's go ahead and call out your cards and then kind of go one by one. I did take your photo already of all the cards here. So at the end of the reading, if that's something that you want to see, it is free, and I'll just kind of put it up. All right, so Taurus, you have the Four of Spades, or also known as Four of Wands, in the right side up position. You've got the Two of Cups in the reverse position. You have the Strength card in the right side up position, and you have the Seven of Staves or Seven of Wands in the reverse position. All right, and then we'll go into the other cards a little bit where Spirit wants to get into that. All right, so let's see here, Taurus. You have three major arcanas, okay, throughout your reading. One is in the future, current, present energies, and the other two are in the past. Okay, so as far as other zodiac signs, some of you guys may be dealing with a Leo, a Cancer, an Aquarius, a Taurus, or a Scorpio. Okay, so you could be dealing with one of those sun signs, or you have a lot of those signs heavily in your birth chart, or the other person may, or it's referencing one of those seasons throughout the year, or it means nothing at all, right? I just kind of wanted to mention it. Now, Taurus, as far as your minor arcana goes, we want to see which one is the most dominant. So it looks like you have 3 wands cards. So that's your dominant minor arcana. Okay, so wands can talk about our physical health or our physical body. It talks about passion and creativity. It's other fire signs, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. All right, so there can be an underlying theme of health or something within the physical body in some way that we'll get into in a little bit. All right. Now, Taurus, if I was to pause your reading here and we wanted to look at like what is the best time to accomplish certain things within your own control, like traveling or manifesting something in particular, again, something that you can control, I would say that the first week and the third week are looking like the best here, Taurus. It's not that the other weeks are bad per se, but that's when you have those green lights, and the other ones are more of a yellow reddish kind of light. Okay, but let's go ahead and start with your first card here, Taurus, and go one by one. So this can be energy that we're picking up from the recent past as well when we talk about your first card. But here we have the Four of Staves, also known as Four of Wands, in the right side up position. So this is a really nice kind of a celebratory energy. It can speak of weddings or just parties in general, but it is a unions card, okay? So it doesn't necessarily have to mean marriage, right? But here we see, and I'll show you the card a little bit closer, these 2 Egyptian people, and they're at some type of party-like atmosphere. There's wine and cheese and grapes in the background. Okay, but they're looking at each other like they're the only people in the room. And we don't know if there's necessarily other people in the room. But what they have between them is this comfortability and this vulnerability here, Taurus. Okay, so that's beautiful, right? Also, since we just said that wands can represent physical health, wands are also staves, as they're known in that deck. It can be that there's good health going on right now in that first week of September here. It could also be that there's more passion or creativity, something to get just excited about, again, like the physical body. Okay, so that's looking very nice. Now, as we kind of transition into your second week here, Taurus, there's a little bit of an energetic blockage, slow down, gentle reminder or challenge, or like I said before, a little bit of this stagnant energy where instead of a green light that we had in the first week, it's more of a yellow to red light. Okay, so I kind of want to show you just the cards themselves. We have the first week and then we have the second week, and that's the Two of Cups in the reverse position. Okay, so it's interesting, right? We go from this union card in the first week here, Taurus, where we have this comfortability, vulnerability with someone or with multiple people, kind of that celebratory energy. And then we go into the second week, and it's kind of like the complete opposite in a way, right? With the Two of Cups in the reverse position, it doesn't have to be romantic per se. It can be any type of union, work partnership with friends or family, or even self-love. But something's going on here in the second week where someone perhaps is giving more than the other, or there just isn't an equal give and take or balance emotionally. And that's because it's a Cups card, and that Cups represent the emotions, right? So I don't want you to worry about it too much, because then the following week you have more of a green light, but we do need to kind of break down and see why this is showing up here for you, Taurus. So underneath that Two of Cups in the reverse position, we have energy from the past. Could be a couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. Right? So whatever the past is for you or for them, vice versa, etc. Or it could just be the general environment situation. But what we have here in the past, Taurus, is really interesting. You've got the Nine of Swords in the right side up position and the Ten of Cups in the right side up position. So there was something going on here in the past where there was some type of anxiety, worry, overthinking at a really high level, right? Just too much air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But it was at its height in the past. So when we talk about the numbers in tarot, you've got a 9 and a 10, even though they are different minor arcanas. So there was a lot of anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in the past. I mean, could be too much up in the past, being too much up in the head in the past is what I was trying to say. But yeah, it could be overthinking about the past as well. And then we have the Ten of Cups next to it, though. And I want to show you the cards a little bit more up close in detail. So then the Ten of Cups comes in here in the past and is like, I'm going to give you this emotionally satisfying, fulfilling thing. And it's going to be some type of ending, new beginning. Okay? So it's a little bit of this more intense energy here, Taurus, in the past. Because when I was shuffling and confirming the cards, the Nine of Swords right side up and the Ten of Cups right side up, it could have also gone underneath your first card, right? So we see already that in the past, even in the recent past, that there was some type of, in that first week of September, maybe this vulnerability, this comfortability, this kind of celebratory energy, and then possibly something happens where someone or something is triggered and then something's off balance emotionally, again, in that second week of September. Now, it could have been that there was a lot of, Taurus, I'm hearing, endings and new beginnings back to back. I'm looking throughout your reading here. You've got a lot of fire energy with the wand. No. A lot of fire energy with the wand. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Then you have the Cups cards. Okay. That's air sign energy. Then you have the Swords, which is, the Cups are water energy. The Swords are air energy. And that's what you have throughout your reading. You have a little bit of Earth all the way in the past here in the Wheel of Fortune, because that represents 4 different zodiac signs. But the Earth is really lacking here, right? So when we see something, when we're looking at any reading, we also want to see what didn't come up on the table, okay? Because that can give us more insight too about what's going on. So there could be that in this month of September here, Taurus, there needs to be more grounding, more earth energy, getting practical about something, getting back into your physical body, all those things, all right? But again, whatever this Two of Cups is for you or for someone else here, Taurus, in that second week, it does really create this beautiful like resiliency in you, okay? I don't feel like resiliency is the right word. I'm going to think about it and hopefully it'll come to me. But you go from the Two of Cups in the reverse position in the second week to then the Strength card, Leo energy, in that third week here. Okay, so whatever this emotional imbalance is in some type of union or multiple unions here, then it leads to the Strength card. So that's being confident, okay? That's being courageous, right? Having courage, lion, the courage, right? From the Wizard of Oz. But it's also like a metaphor, right? So what this woman is she's very similar to the Magician card in the tarot. So she's a manifester, right? She can manifest things when she's in this kind of strong energy. And it's not a gender thing, it's just kind of how the cards are depicted. But I love that for you. So again, Taurus, you've got the green light in the first week and in the third week, okay? And it's not to say that there won't be other green lights, but there feels like this final type of energy. Remember the Nine of Swords in the past and the Ten of Cups right next to each other, 9, 10. You've got another 10 over here that we'll get into in a minute, and that's kind of past and future energy. But 10s are beginnings and endings, right? So again, it feels like, well, maybe not final is the right word. It feels, again, more intense, or maybe final, like drawing lines in the sand. Like this is the past, this is the future, that kind of thing. Okay, we'll get more into it. But let's kind of see here, Taurus, what you have in your fourth week. I feel a little bit throughout your reading, there is a little bit of this kind of up and down energy, which we all have, from time to time or throughout certain periods of our life, right? So it's like a green yellow, red, a green, yellow, red, right? So it's a little bit of one step forward, two steps back. No, that's not right, because it's just like forward, back is more of a better way to kind of describe the energy here. All right, so when we get into your fourth card in your fourth week, we have the Seven of Staves, Seven of Wands in the reverse position. Okay, we go from Strength to then the Seven of Wands. So there could be some type of revelation, spiritual download, or even insight that is blocked here for you or for someone else with a general environment situation. It could also be the opposite of a spiritual initiation. It's like a spiritual, like I'm not quite ready for that yet. Okay, that's kind of what the energy is telling me here. But we still have 4 other tarot cards to talk about, so let's break it down. And I want to show you this a little bit closer. All right, so here's the Seven of Staves in the reverse position. So if it was right side up, just to kind of show you the imagery, we have this little tiny human figure in this giant kind of Egyptian temple. And they have both of their hands open and ready to receive, and they're praying. So it's almost like, because it is in this reverse position here, Taurus, it could be is that someone or something is not quite open yet in some way around a spiritual download, revelation, or insight. Okay, it's just not quite coming in yet for some reason. Okay, doesn't mean it's not coming ever, it's just a little bit slower or closed off right now. All right, so let's kind of see what's underneath this card. I call these the sponsor cards that kind of made it possible for this card to come out. So this is past energy. So in the past, we have the Wheel of Fortune in the right side up position and the Chariot in the right side up position here. So Taurus, it's like you had all these really good things going here for you in the past. Luck was on your side, right? There was this, again, not a final necessarily feeling, but a feeling that in the past it was time for something. It was time to move forward in the past with the Chariot, Cancer energy. So with the Wheel of Fortune, of course, we have 4 different zodiac signs. So we have Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay. And so it's just like, well, why is there this kind of closed off feeling if in the past these things were really open? It could have something to do with the general astrology. It could also, be more on an individual level, since this is a general reading. But towards the end of September, I'm just looking at my notes here. Well, we have a full moon in Aries on the 29th. So a lot of times when we have, of course, we have Mercury going direct during the 3rd week when you had your Strength card. And sometimes it takes time, it stops going backwards and then it slowly picks up speed. But it doesn't necessarily feel like the Mercury retrograde here. It could be, but it feels more about that full moon energy. Full moon in Aries on the 29th of September. So around any full moons, we're going to have heightened emotions. And so it's usually a couple of days before, the day of, and the day after, a couple of days after. So, it could be, what this full moon may represent for you at this time is usually full moons aren't necessarily the best time. And again, it is based on each individual, but you could say as a generalization, they're not necessarily the best time to manifest something new or something that needs more time to cook and to simmer and to marinate, right? Because the moon is already at its fullest. So usually some people like to do it more on the new moon or when the moon is in that C kind of shape. So then it slowly grows to the full moon energy. But here with this 7 of Wands in the reverse position, it could just be, I would say it's kind of like that feeling here, Taurus, where even though good things were happening in the past, okay, to open up or lead to this spiritual enlightenment, spiritual download, revelation, or insight, or, oh, now I finally get it. It's like these things in the past were kind of set up to support that. But it could just be, even when we have good things going on, we could still have a good, not good stress, but We could still have stress even when good things are happening. Okay. Um, Now, this, whatever this insight is, this revelation, this download, this, oh, now I finally understand something here for you or for someone else, your general environment situation, Taurus, it does feel like it was something that took a long time to get to that place, okay? It could have been something that speaks of more like, um, I guess you could say destiny or fate. We always have choice and we have free will, okay? But I really say that because this Wheel of Fortune, when it shows up here, it was kind of confirming what I was already saying before in the beginning, that there's this kind of final energy because you have a 9, you have a 10, and then you have another 10. If you look at the details of the Wheel of Fortune in the bottom of the card, there's this book there, right? There's the calendar. We think of the zodiac signs, that's the calendar of the year. The wheel is time, right? So it's almost like this past energy was really planning and setting up for this to happen. Okay, hopefully that makes sense here. But let's keep going and see. Like I said, you have another 10 card here. So when we get to, like, let's say the end of September here, Taurus, you have your tarot confirmation card that's going to come in here and confirm all 4 weeks, all 4 cards that we just talked about. And so now we have again fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We had official card for Leo over here, but we've got the 10 of Wands in the right side of position. Okay, this again speaks of endings and new beginnings. And because it is the tarot confirmation card, is a little bit of past and future energies here. Okay, but usually sometimes in other decks you would see an old man walking up a hill with all these 10 wands on his back, and then we see a home or a castle at the top of the hill, and he's almost reached it. He's almost like 1 or 2 steps away. So it's talking about putting down burdens. They call the 10 of Wands in this deck, the Hermaic deck, the Lord of Oppression, right? So if something was weighing heavily on you or someone else or multiple people, general environment situation, it's time to put those things down and work on our health too, right? We talked about that in the beginning, all the wands energy. So working on our health, our physical body, or passion or creativity, or what gets us fired up. We're not necessarily going to be open to a spiritual enlightenment, revelation, download, insight, aha moment, I understand something, if we're carrying a lot of burdens or a heavy weight with something. So I feel here, Taurus, that when you get to the end of September or even into the beginning of October, it's like, I'm going to put those things down. I'm going to take some rest. We talked about earth sign energy not showing up really at all in your reading, a little bit with Taurus in the past, but it's not big enough, right? It's not its own minor arcana here. So what does, earth sign energy mean? Grounding, getting practical with something. So Taurus, because you're an earth sign, or depending on where you have Taurus in your chart, it's like, getting back to that little bit of slowed down energy and just taking care of health in the body. And then you can kind of, hopefully after that, that insight is going to come in here for you, that spiritual initiation into something. So I feel that's really beautiful here, Taurus, and I want to see, how you guys feel about it and how it may shape up for you. So always feel free to leave a comment or two if you feel guided, okay? But we also have your Oracle confirmation card here too. So turning the music up a little bit for the dogs and background noise so they don't go crazy. This is your Oracle card for this time period or beyond, and it's really beautiful, Taurus. I haven't seen this one in a while. This is from the Rebecca Campbell deck, Starseed Oracle. But we see this, looks like a woman, but could be any type of person, at the top of the hill, and they're under this archway, and it almost looks like a portal. And on the other side, we see space, but it could be a spaceship, okay? Really pretty card, very purple and blues. And grays, but the name of the card here, Taurus, is important. It says baby steps, okay? And it says action. It says follow your intuition before it makes sense. Before it makes sense. So that's so beautiful. I would definitely put it here, and I'll show it to you in a second. The Seven of Wands in reverse position, and that Ten of Wands on the right side up position. Let me get in here. Okay. So again, baby steps, right? If you're almost at the top of the mountain, to let down something that has been a burden, or to work on your health in some way, you can do that. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, right? And I really love that it says here, trust your intuition, Taurus, okay? Baby steps, and trust your intuition before it makes sense to you. So you may be doing something towards the end of the month or throughout the month. It doesn't make sense to other people. It doesn't fucking matter, right? Sorry, I don't usually curse, but it feels like it. It doesn't matter, okay? It's like, if it makes sense to you, that is the most important. You have to trust your intuition, okay? Don't even trust me, nobody, right? I'm just here as a guide. So I love this for you, Taurus. And we'll be uploading your photo after this reading is done. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, all you have to do is go into the search bar in Facebook and type in Malessea's Magic with Light, the same name as my YouTube page. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can do the same thing on Facebook. And once I post this video after the live is done, it's usually about 5 or 10 minutes after, I will be posting the photo in the first or second comment there, okay? So that's just for some people who want to look at this again together, all like more up close and all that good stuff. All right, so Taurus, that is your reading. Enjoy this time period, and always feel free to, if you feel guided, to support the channel here. There are a couple of free ways. You can like this video, you can subscribe if you haven't already, and you can share this video with others who you think may enjoy it in some way. All right, so let me check the time here for the timestamps. We're at about 27.5 minutes. Okay. So we're going to kind of switch over here, Taurus, now into the Gemini energy. All right. So we will be shuffling the cards, clearing, doing another sound bell, lighting some incense, all that good stuff. All right. So I also usually, when I do the timestamps, I'll put in for some people before the shuffling or after the shuffling, because I know some people don't necessarily want to see that or care, or they don't have time, which is totally fine. But I like to kind of give the options for everybody. So yeah, let's see what we have here. I'm gonna let the cards kind of chill and rest with the crystals, also to kind of clear the energy. Just getting all of our decks together here. Our ducks in a row, our decks in a row, if that's a thing. It is, okay. I'm just gonna throw these in here randomly before we do our deep shuffle. Same thing with this. All right. All right, so let's do a little incense, and then we will do our sound bell, and we'll get started. All right. So this is the moment me and myself and others who are pyromaniacs or fire signs. Ooh, fire. All right, let's see here. Get it going. Palo Santo, really great for clearing. It's kind of a lighter scent than sage, right? We have all sorts of different types of incense, wheatgrass, frankincense, all the good stuff, right? But let's go ahead and clear some of this energy. Do a little bit for myself as well, and for you guys. All right. It's lighting a lot better than it was the other day. It took forever to catch. So it's had a little bit more time, I guess, to dry out or something. Definitely easier time for lighting it. So it'll go out on its own. I'm just going to kind of leave it there. All right, so let's do some shuffling. We'll start with the first deck. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Messages for air sign Gemini, the twins, for September 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for the highest vibration? Okay, wants to go in there too. All right. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Messages for air sign Gemini, the twins, for September 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Spirits, guide my hands. Come in love and light, respect and reverence before, during, and after. Thank you for all advice, wisdom, and guidance given, and thank you, of course, for listening. Messages for Gemini for September. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Messages for air sign Gemini for September. 4 cards only, please, for their highest good. Messages for Gemini. Messages for air sign Gemini for September. What do they need to see? What does Gemini need to know for their highest good and vibration for September? Messages for September. Messages for air sign Gemini, the twins, for September for their highest good and vibration. All right, so we're going to take the top and the bottom. That over there. We'll figure out in a moment how these cards want to be received. So we're done all the shuffling. I turn that commercial down. All right. Let's see here. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini for September 2023. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Messages for air sign Gemini, the twins, for September. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini for September 2023 for the highest good and vibration. 1 card only, please, spirits. What does air sign Gemini need to know for September? Why is everything wanting to come out? All right. I will usually take 1, but I'll take 2 for you. Okay. We're also going to take the top and bottom. Oh, Gemini. Gemini, you came through in another reading I did. I by accidentally said Gemini, and I don't think your sign was showing up in the reading at all. And it was. So I remember I'll put it in the comments. All right, so let's go ahead and do this deck and get started. Thank you for your patience, everyone. All right. Spirits, guide my hands, please, for air sign Gemini for September. Spirits, guide my hands, please. Messages for air sign Gemini for September. 1 card only, please. Messages for air sign Gemini for September for their highest good. Oh. All right, so this card has been coming out in like another reading, and then there was another one and I didn't take it. So I'll show it to you real quickly, but we're not going to keep it on the board. These are oracle cards, the ones I do at the end. So the one that keeps coming out that could have something to do with the general astrology, collective unconscious, all that. It says, trust the timing, trust the wave you came in on, time is not running out. I feel like this is definitely a Mercury retrograde message, right? Mercury does go direct on September 15th, which affects electronics and communications, right? So don't feel like time is running out. There's always more time, and trust the flow. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that there, but again, I'm not gonna put it on the board because I only really want to take 1 oracle card here for you, Gemini. All right, let's figure out where Spirit wants these cards here. All right, let's see. Spirits, did you want the Five of Cups in the reverse position here to represent the second tarot card for this Gemini September reading? Yep, they want that. Okay. Check over here. And Spirits, did you want the Nine of Swords in the reverse position to represent the first tarot confirmation card for this Gemini September reading? No? Okay. Spirits, did you want the Nine of Swords in the right side up position to represent the first tarot confirmation card for this Gemini September 2023 reading? All right, so they want that one right side up, so we'll leave that. All right, let's check this one real quickly. And spirits and love and light, respect and reverence before, during, and after. Thank you for all advice, wisdom, and guidance given, and thank you for listening. Spirits, did you want the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position to represent what's on top of this Hermetic Tarot deck for this Gemini September reading? Yes, okay. All right, let's see what else here. And Spirits, did you want the Seven of Sacred Circles in the reverse position to represent what's on bottom of this Ancestral Path Tarot deck for this Gemini September 2023 reading? No? Okay, let's see. Spirits, did you want the Seven of Sacred Circles in the right side up position to represent what's on the bottom of this Ancestral Path Tarot deck for this Gemini September 2023 reading? Okay, let's see what else here. Gemini. Right, Mercury is your ruler, Gemini, one of your rulers. So that Mercury retrograde is a kind of a big deal for you. So that's maybe why that extra Oracle card came out as well. Let's confirm this last one here as well. Or not the last one, but another one that I didn't see before. Thank you, Spirits. Did you want the Judgment card in the reverse position to represent the first tarot card for this Gemini September 2020? Okay. Let's see here. Feeling like this, but let's double check everything over a little bit. All right, Spirits, did you want me to talk about the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position and the Four of Wands in the right side up position when I talk about the Five of Cups in the reverse position? Okay, thank you. And Spirits, did you want me to talk about the Queen of Cups in the right side up position and the Seven of Sacred Circles in the right side up position when I talk about the Ace of Sacred Circles in the right side up position? Okay, all right. So I think we're all confirmed now. So we'll go ahead and take your photo, Gemini, before I forget here. And then we will get started. Let's here. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna stand up so make sure I don't have a little bit of that glare going on. And get a nice photo. Okay. Let's see here, Gemini. Hold on, I keep standing my chair, getting stuck on this. All right. Let's see here, Gemini. So I'll get comfortable, right? We did all of our sound bells, all of our clearing. We've got all our cards now. So before I get comfortable, I gotta check the time stamps real quickly. We're about 35, 36 minutes. Wait, is that 35? I can't tell if it's 35. No, it's 38. Now it's 39. Okay. I'm like, it's so tiny. Okay. So we're at 39 minutes. So I will save that for the timestamps for later. But yeah, let's see what we have here for you, Gemini. Like I said, you were coming through in one of the other readings. So it was like Spirit was telling me, hurry up and get to the Gemini's reading. I was like, okay, it's coming. Here we are. All right, let's go ahead and call out your cards here, Gemini. So you've got the Judgment card in the reverse position. You've got the Five of Cups in the reverse position. You have the Ace of Sacred Circles in the right side up position. And you have the Five of Staves or Five of Wands in the right side up position. All right. And then we'll, of course, get to the other cards as we go through. But yeah, we're going to talk about the potential kind of time frames these things may occur. So I'll say the dates again when we're on each card. But the first card can be from around September 1st through the 8th. The second card can be from around September 9th through the 16th. The third card can be from around September 17th through the 23rd or so. And the fourth card can be from around September 24th through September 30th, or even maybe into a couple of days into October. All right. So, Gemini, you have two major arcanas here throughout your reading. It's not necessarily good or bad, I just like to mention it. All right, so you definitely have a little bit of Pisces energy over here. Actually, you have Pisces twice. Not Pisces official card, but still present as far as in the majors with the Judgment and the Hanged Man. All right, so some of you guys, Gemini, could be dealing with the Pisces, sun sign Pisces, or you have a lot of Pisces in your chart, or the other person does, vice versa, etc. Could also be referencing Pisces season of this year, of last year, or even next year, or it means nothing to you at all, which is totally fine too. All right. So let's see here what the majority of your minor arcana is. Here, Pisces, you've got got a mixture of stuff here. It's probably going to be a tie. All right, let's go ahead and call it out. So you've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 3 wands. Actually, that's probably the majority. So remember that. 3 wands, 2 cups, 2 pentacles, 1 sword, and your majors. All right, so the majority is the wands, and that was definitely true for the Taurus reading we just did. All right, so when we have the majority of the minor arcana, it can be an extra kind of insight into the reading or underneath the reading. And wands talk about our health or our physical body, what we get fired up and passionate about to take action. Okay, so it can be something going on here underneath that is kind of hinting at health stuff, okay? Or again, just the physical body. And it's hinting at fire sign energy when we talk about the wand, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. All right, but let's see here, Gemini, as well. If we were to pause your reading right here and say, when is the best time to travel or to accomplish something within our control? I would say I would hold off into either the 3rd or 4th week, but the 3rd is the best. Okay, the 3rd week is kind of that green light. The others are, well, actually take that back. The 2nd and the 3rd are the best. Yeah, the 2nd and the 3rd week. Sorry, sorry, Gemini. The 2nd and the 3rd week. It's been a long day, but that's not to say that the other weeks are bad. They're just more of a slowed down kind of energy. So really, the 3rd week is the best, and the 2nd week isn't bad. And then what we have possibly coming up into October isn't bad either, right? It's just kind of seeing when the best times are to, again, accomplish something that is within your control. All right, so Gemini, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into your reading here. I mean, it is all your reading, but you know what I mean. Let's get into your first card. All right, so this could be energy from the recent past, kind of that we're still kind of picking up. All right, and so this is the Judgment card, a little bit of Pisces energy, but it is in the reverse position, okay? And so that is that gentle reminder, challenge, or kind of stagnant energy here. But based on your second card, though, Gemini, it feels like if there was some type of final judgment or ruling that didn't necessarily go in your favor or someone else's favor, multiple people's favor, general environment situation, I think it led to not a self-destructive energy, but it possibly, for some of you guys, could have led to this healing, but it doesn't feel like healing or look like healing, but it is healing something here, okay? With the Judgment card in the reverse position, it also could have been your decision here, Gemini, or someone's decision, or just the environment, the energy's decision, right? To possibly put something to rest, to let something go, to not resurrect it. If the Judgment card was in the right side up position, this woman is rising up out of her bed. In other decks, it would show people coming out of their graves, right? The last judgment day for when you're going to heaven and all that stuff, right? Let me turn this down. Sorry about that. So that is kind of you or someone else here, Gemini, deciding, I don't want to do that anymore, or I don't want to resurrect this thing. I'm going to let it go. And when you do that, or when the other person does that here, Gemini, it kind of creates, again, this beautiful healing energy that's coming in the second week. Okay, and I say that because you have the Five of Cups now in the second week in the reverse position. And we said this could be from around September 9th through the 16th or so, but it's not set in stone. All right, and this is what we call a good reversal. When it's Five of Cups right side up, it's some guy crying over spilled wine or milk, right? Them not knowing that there's still other people that are like, hey, we've got more milk or more wine or whatever you drink. So when this card shows up here, Gemini, in the reverse position, it's like somebody or something is now saying, you know what, there's bad stuff that happens and there's bad people, but then there's also good people. So it's kind of coming into more of this balanced energy here in that second week of September here, Gemini. But, you know, let's look what's underneath it as well to kind of get even more insight about maybe why this card is showing up. All right. So what you have underneath is past energy, and it could be, Gemini, we've got, start off with Pisces, water energy. You go to Cups card, water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Then you go to the past, you got earth energy, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and then you have fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So it's going from emotions, getting more balance with the emotions in the second week. Because in the past, there was perhaps less stability in finances and or values. Somebody wasn't feeling abundant in the past, but alongside of that, there could have also been this type of celebratory energy or a union or comfortability, vulnerability. You got the Four of Wands in the right side up position. That's the marriage card, right? It doesn't have to necessarily talk about marriage, but it's like in the past here, Gemini, again, someone wasn't feeling necessarily abundant. They were wanting to let go of friction though, right? So fives are friction. So it's five in reverse. So it's letting go of friction in the past here, which possibly led to that celebratory energy or that kind of union energy, comfortability, vulnerability with someone. So this energy from the past was like the homework that someone did, or the energy did if it wasn't a person. And so that led to, you know what, I'm going to get my emotions more balanced. Okay, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk or wine. Okay, I'm going to see that there's good and bad in all things, which is true in nature, right? All right, so moving forward here, Gemini, though, we go from the Five of Cups in the right side up position, the Five of Cups in the reverse position in the second week to the third week. Now we have the Ace of Sacred Circles, or Ace of Pentacles as is known. Okay, so now we have some sort of ending, new beginning around finances, okay, or around money, or around value, or being valued here. Okay, this is endings and new beginnings. So it could be a financial new beginning. That sounds nice, right? It could be also a new beginning around feeling more valued in some way here. We do have the buffalo on the side of the card. All right, so in Native American culture, the buffalo is very important and spiritual. And so it's about using this large animal for food and shelter and the fur, right? So clothing, all the protection, right? So the buffalo represents abundance and protection, okay? But also the buffalo represents taking up space, right? So I feel like, Gemini, it wants you to lead into this ending, new beginning here for you. Because there was so much done in the past to plan for this, okay? There could have been, because we're going to look what's underneath it as well, a divine feminine, okay? But could have been a woman or someone who represents divine feminine energy here with the Queen of Cups in the right side up position. All right, again, these are cards that made it possible for this one to come out and that future, current, present energies. And then on the other side, you had the Seven of Sacred Circles, or Seven of Pentacles. So in the past, there was this divine feminine energy, okay, that was like, I have all my emotions in control and I'm using them to make decisions, right? A Queen of Cups, she's in control of her emotions. She's also planning for something. She's planning for winter time, okay? How do I save my money? How do I save my energy? How do I, look at the kind of long haul energy? Okay, so how do I look to the future to do those things? All right. So this energy here from the past made it possible for that Ace of Pentacles or Ace of Sacred Circles to show up here for you, Gemini. And again, I feel like that's your best week of September. So feels really nice for you, Gemini. All right. Now, going forward, you've got another 5 here, okay? And it's in the right side up position, but it's not the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse past position. Oh, I also just thought about that. That's another way it could have gone down too. Interesting. Okay. In that second week with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, there also could have been some type of communication or opportunity that didn't happen. Okay, like you were going to give a message to someone, or someone was going to give a message to you, or it was going to come in general from your spirit guides, guardian angels, but it didn't happen, again, because there was that friction and someone wasn't feeling abundant. But because this didn't come through, the earth sign energy over here, it also led to the Four of Wands in the past, that union card energy. So having more vulnerability, comfortability, celebrations, weddings, etc., going to parties. It happened because maybe there was some type of message here in the past, Gemini, that was blocked. Either literally blocked on the phone or energetically blocked. But I feel like it definitely happened for a reason for you or someone else to get their emotions in check here. Again, have the positive and the negative, have it more balanced. There's everything, there's both at all times, right? Not just black and white, but gray areas. They go back and forth. Now, by the time, though, we go back to what I was starting to say over here, Gemini, with this 5 of Staves or 5 of Wands in the right side up position, which shows up in your 4th week, right? So we go from Ace of Sacred Circles to now 5 of Staves or 5 of Wands in the right side up position. We said it could be from around September 24th through the 30th, or even into a couple of days of October here. But it's like, it doesn't feel like a normal 5, and that's the way that I read it through this deck as well. Because in other decks you would see 5 guys fighting, but they were actually playing and practicing, and that's what's needed. If there is friction towards the end of September here, Gemini, it's like it doesn't have to be friction, okay? So the way that this deck shows it is we see these 4 men here, and they're some type of Egyptian architects, and they're planning and they're practicing where they're going to build their next building. Okay, so what they have though is a pencil and not a pen. So they have an eraser. So when this 5 of Staves or 5 of Wands shows up here for you, Gemini, it's like if you've been taking life really seriously in some regards to finances or value in the 3rd week, by the time you get to the 4th week, it's like your friends and your family, your support system wants to come in and say, okay, you want it to go exactly that way, but let's make a couple of different options just in case it doesn't go exactly that way. They want you to let go of the friction, okay? And you will, right? It just kind of will be different for everybody exactly how it goes down here. But let's see, because you also had 2 confirmation cards, Gemini. You wanted to be special, and here you are. I usually only take 1, but you got 2. All right. So here we have the first one. It comes in. It is a combination of past and future energy. It's going to confirm all 4 cards, all 4 weeks that we just talked about. And you have the Nine of Swords in the right side of position, okay? So this is past and future energy, and it's asking you here, Gemini, kind of winking at you. That's what it feels like. And it's saying, do I want to hold on to this anxiety, worry, overthinking, or taking life really way too seriously, which is not a Gemini thing that they or you now where you have Gemini in your chart. It's not something that is normally part of your nature, right? You're fun going, and it's not to say that you don't take things seriously, but when it is Gemini in particular, Mercury being your ruler, when you overthink, it's like, okay, you got Libra and Aquarius are also air signs. Their overthinking feels different. When you do it, Gemini, it's like, I guess, a call of help. That's why, again, your support system wants to come in here and help you shake things up and let go of those things. Now, what they call the Nine of Swords in this deck is the Lord of Despair and Cruelty. Ugh, right? And so we see all these swords kind of going in this position, almost like this. So in the tarot, when you see a sword in the picture on the card and it's going right side up, that is clarity, right? Using it to clear your path. If the swords are going down, I'm like dancing right now. If the swords are going down, Gemini, that is that anxiety, worry, overthinking. But yours are going like both. It's like overthinking, 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 overthinking. Do I want to be up? Do I want to be down? It's this kind of back and forth energy. And when it says Lord of Despair and Cruelty, it's like you're being cruel to yourself, or someone is, or the environment or the energy feels like that, okay? Again, I feel and I'm hearing that it's almost like you don't trust your abundance that's coming in for you, your money, your values. It's like you don't all the way trust it here, so then you go more too much up in your head again, Gemini. All right, but it's gonna eventually shift again, so not to worry, okay? So let me show you your other tarot confirmation card, because you're special and you got two. So you also have more Pisces energy. You have the Hanged Man in the right side up position now. So I'm gonna put the other one down, the Nine of Swords. Let's definitely put the Nine of Swords down. Okay, so here we have the Hanged Man coming in and saying, you know what? We need to shake up the perspective. We need to look at something from a different point of view here, Gemini. And it could be just temporary as an exercise, right? So we see this man literally hanging upside down. If he stays like that forever, all the blood will go to his head and he'll get sick or die. So it's an exercise, right? So it's like, okay, how do I switch it and look at something from a different perspective? How do I also reground myself? Okay, so Gemini, you're different in your reading here this time for September because you have a little bit of every element. You've got water, you've got earth, you've got fire, you've got air, right? And the air doesn't really come so much towards the end of the reading, okay? And I feel like that's a bad, let me say it this way, I'm gonna turn that down. It's like a bad habit, Gemini, or a bad trait, this overthinking, this Nine of Swords that we already talked about. So again, remember how we talked about health in the beginning of this reading, because you had 3 Wands cards, right? 1, 2, where did the other one go? Oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. Did you have 2? Wait. 1, 2. Got 2 cups, 2 pentacles. No, 3 pentacles. Okay, it wasn't wands. I got confused. Oops. Okay, hold on. So the health thing is still valid, but it's more like if we're talking about pentacles, we're talking about money, finances, right? But also being valued. Am I being valued? Is the other person? Is the environment valuable? Those are some example kind of questions. So again, it feels like you're not trusting your value or your abundance. And that's when that Nine of Swords comes in. But if you embrace the Hanged Man and you look at something from a new perspective, then it doesn't necessarily have to go down that way. And you can look at it as an exercise to reground yourself. It's interesting because you have 3 pentacles, earth sign energy, right? So Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo season. But with the Hanged Man in reverse, it's like, yes, ground yourself, get back into your physical body, work on the health, all those things, and then you can have that abundance, right? Then in this deck, they have the Ankh, right? That's the Egyptian symbol for life. Okay, all these other alchemy energies, the cross, etc. Right, but it really is like going to give you more life here, Gemini. When you can trust your abundance, when you know that the finances are going to be there for you and you're going to be more valued in some way, or the environment is. Okay. All right, so I feel like I explained that hopefully enough. Let's get to your oracle card here, Gemini, as well before you go. Interesting. Okay. So you have this is from the Rebecca Campbell Starseed Oracle deck, but you have this woman here in the card and she's floating in space. And it looks like she's going into a star or something. But the name of the card is Wait, and it says, it's not yet time. Things are being woven. Okay. So Gemini, I feel like that is definitely telling you here that Mercury retrograde is almost over. That's your ruler, right? You've got the 3rd week, the Ace of Sacred Circles in the right side up position, wanting to come in here for you. So trust the abundance, trust the value. This card could also go with the Hanged Man in reverse, right? Or not reverse. Right side up. I kept turning it around. So it's like, yeah, take the time to make that exercise, to look at something from a new perspective, okay? And just let things incubate a little bit, or marinate, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling here for you, Gemini. But I'm excited to see, what comes up here, even, towards the end of September, even into October, because it looks like, and there we go, throwing the phone. Looks like some good things are coming up here for you, Gemini. All right, so I am a sun sign Sag. Gemini is my opposite, so hopefully you will appreciate my little goofiness, all right? Or just have patience with me. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Gemini, I'm going to post your photo too here of all of your cards, just for some people who want to see it more up close in detail. So it is free, and I will be posting in a few minutes. So all you have to do, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, is just go to Facebook and type in Malessea's Magic Light. And when you see this video, it'll be the first or second comment, and that's where the photo will be. All right. And also, I appreciate any likes or subscribes. Subscriptions are all free. And if you want to share this video with others you think that may enjoy it, that's also another great free way to support the channel if you feel guided. All right, so giving it a thumbs up or a like in the first couple of days does help share it more with others on YouTube if you're on YouTube. And if you want to subscribe, it is also free. It's just another way for me to notify you when I put out new readings for the other zodiac signs. All right, so you guys take care and enjoy this time period. And I will be back tomorrow with the last 2 signs. We're going to be doing Cancer, Leo, right? Yes, Cancer, Leo. All right, guys, so you take care, and I will see you later. All right, bye.